Wizards are weird. There, I said it. We're all thinking it, unless I guess you're a wizard, but even most of them must realize. Anyway, back when I first arrived at the Bardic College, a good portion of my day was taken up in the library studying ancient texts. There was a librarian who was in charge of any book that entered the college, and I do mean any book. His name was Kline. A fool of an old man, he would often tell stories about a different world that he said he had come from. He would talk in length about an adventure he once went on with his grandkids, and how one day a dragon took him away and brought him here. For much of my life, I thought he was stark, raving mad, but as it turns out, he was actually telling the truth. I one day met the same dragon, and he confirmed the story, and the part of Master Kline being a complete loony. But to my real point, though obviously a madman, Kline had a mind like a steel trap. Anything you had told him, he would remember. Anything he read or heard about, he would remember. Word for word. Here was I, a young fledgling bard, sitting over tomes trying to learn Elvish from a book made before I was even thought of. And here comes Master Kline.
Oh, I remember that book. Have you gotten to the part where it explains that most elves can trace their lineage back to genocidal maniacs? No, must not be there yet. I mean, apart from the drow, I suppose, but that doesn't really make them better, really. Oh dear heavens, you're trying to learn Elvish from that book. I mean, kudos for jumping in head first, but it's kind of like trying to learn how to fly by jumping into a tornado. It works for a moment, but then you realize you are way out of your depth. No, just give me that. We'll save that for later. Let's see. How about some nice children's stories first, Yes, here. This will be much better for someone with your condition.
What an odd fellow. A total sweetheart once you got to know him, but odd nonetheless. Though, to be fair, he was the first wizard I had ever met. Apparently, though, this level of memorized learning and general lack of social awareness is quite common among his ilk. The one thing I will say for certain is thanks to the gods that the Bardic College found me, and not some weird magic guild. Welcome to this episode of What the Feat. Today we are looking over the Keen Mind feat as found in the Player's Handbook. It reads as follows. You have a mind that can track time, direction, and detail with uncanny precision. You gain the following benefits. Increase your intelligence score by 1 to a maximum of 20. You always know which way is north. You always know the number of hours left before the next sunrise or sunset. You can accurately recall anything you have seen or heard within the past month. This feat is way more powerful than people seem to realize, particularly that last part. Again, you remember anything that you have seen or heard in the last month. Standardizing that to just 30 days, you remember everything. That means you remember everything you ever read, everything anyone said to you, any place you've ever been, directions. You pretty much can't get lost as long as you've been there before. Additionally, if you're a person who's really not that good at taking notes, this basically means the DM's just going to tell you things. Or they should, as per the rules of this feat. There are also very strong implications for what this means in conjunction with downtime. Downtime is what your character does between adventures. A lot of times, this correlates with arriving at a town where your DM's going to end the session there, and they might say, okay, while we're away, come up with something you were going to try to accomplish. over the next 2 weeks of downtime. I would rule that if you have the Keen Mind feat, you have advantage, or possibly you're able to research things within half the time, things that involve your intelligence. Meaning, I would say that learning a new language takes half as long as it normally would. I would say gaining a new feat, yes, I do allow you to gain certain feats on your downtime. Again, talk to your DM. They don't have to let you do this. Certain feats take half as long to learn on your downtime. Research for the next quest, for where the big bad guy is, for lore to help fight a monster. Maybe they roll with advantage because you are going to retain information better. Naturally, because you took this feat. This feat has wide-reaching ramifications. This is a role-playing game, guys. It's not all about combat, or at least it shouldn't be. What this feat really does is form a connection between whatever player has this feat and the DM. The DM now can use this player, and, because they have this feat, to lore dump. That is, to give lore and information about the world, because this person is going to remember things normal people can't. They're going to remember, oh yeah, I heard that name once, blah, 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 blah. And the DM can insert nuggets of information to help them on their quest or open up new avenues to solve problems. This feat is a great feat for role-playing, and it can also be useful in combat. I would rule that you are more likely to remember things and lore about whatever creature you happen to be fighting. Maybe there's a glaring weakness that you can roll an Arcana or History check. I would say that depending on your DM and depending on the situation, maybe your DM should allow you to roll that History check with advantage because you have this feat. And because you dedicated your entire 2 weeks of downtime in researching lore and weaknesses of common monsters in the area. That just about does it for this episode of What the Feat. Next episode will be a 3-parter where we go over the rest of the armor-related feats. Just a quick reminder to like, subscribe, and share if you think I've earned it. And until next time, here's wishing you all 1d10 worth of inspiration.